This podcast is sponsored by Idea Pro. In the digital landscape, your website is your handshake. With Idea Pro, it's a memorable one. As leaders in web development, Idea Pro delivers unmatched speed and an unforgettable user experience. Elevate your brand. Explore more at ideapro.com.
Welcome to the Fans of Fitness podcast, a voice for fitness, health, and wellness professionals. The National Personal Training Institute of Arizona.
Legit instructors teaching you.
No, enough of those bad reps. The good quality trainers that come out of the school.
Let's get into it.
NPC Bikini bodybuilder and new National Personal Training Institute of Arizona graduate, Gracie Reed.
Hello, everyone. I am excited to be here.
Excited to have you.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good day. I'm feeling good. Graduated yesterday, ready to take on the world. 2 weeks out from my show, so all good things happening in my life right now. It's all coming full circle.
Awesome. How are you feeling?
Whew, it's been a stressful couple of months, I will say. I remember the day I actually called Josh, and I'm just like, hey, I saw this school online. I'm in prep right now. Not sure if I should do it. Can I bring my meals to school? Will I be able to do everything? And he was like, yeah, just call me and let me know. But he said it was the last day to kind of register, and I remember I was sitting there, I'm like, shit, like, do I do this? I'm already under so much pressure right now with a prep. And then an hour later, I called him back. I'm like, all right, put me in the class. Let's go ahead and do it. And I just feel like the last 11 weeks with being in school and prepping at the same time has been a lot for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's mentally draining, physically draining, but I learned so much. And I think that it really helped me see how disciplined I am and how much resilience I have, because boy, there were days getting up at 4 a.m. where I'm like doing my cardio before school, wondering how I'm going to make it through the day, but I did it. So now I'm feeling really, really good. I'm finally at that final stretch where I'm just calming down a little and taking it slow. But yeah, the last 11 weeks were crazy for me. So
yeah, I could tell you the last few weeks, I would say going back to about 6 weeks, you started to look a little different in class. Like your eyes were closing a little bit more and more. And then that's when I found out that you had your calories cut.
Yes.
Pretty significantly, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I would feel that way too. The funny thing is I'm there, like what you have available to you in a day. I usually have that by lunch.
Oh, yeah.
And then I double, triple that in a lot of days. So I couldn't imagine
it's
what
hard.
that's like. So much respect for the grind, because there's no way I could do it.
Yeah, it's a lot, definitely. There were days where like lunch break would hit and I would just go grab a pillow and just lay on the floor, take a quick nap, recharge. Calories are super low. Carbs are the lowest, which I feel like, everyone knows carbs are your main source of energy. And for brain function, all that good stuff, there were days where I'm just looking in space. I'm like, all right, pay attention, get through it. But yeah, the low energy definitely hit me at that midpoint through class. Because I feel like in the beginning I was all in, high energy, calories were up, cardio wasn't so bad. And then it just hit, and I was like, uh-oh, here we go. And the one thing that I really wanted to make sure is that I wasn't being a bitch in class. Because
You weren't.
That was a huge thing for me. In prep, you get so moody and just so, like, snappy at people. I do it a lot with my boyfriend and my parents. But in school, I was like, okay, like, don't be mean to these people. Like, keep your cool. If someone asks you questions or you get annoyed, just keep it to yourself. So that's the one thing that I really tried to keep internal, because I know you did say you've had past students in prep who were kind of a living hell. So I just didn't want to be that person.
Shout out to Kevin.
Kevin.
I wasn't going to name any names, but...
Well, we had Eli on the podcast the other day.
We did.
And he said the same thing. He's like, Yeah, I try to have really good customer service at the front desk, but he said sometimes when I'm getting ready for a show, like where he's at now, he's like, I have to tell people I'm not my normal self.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't even want to sit down because if I sat down, I can't get back up.
Yes, that's exactly how it is. Sometimes you're just like, you're sitting and you're like, there is no way I'm getting up right now to even move or live. But yeah, the snappiness is something that I was really worried about. And I'm happy that I feel like I contained it for the most part. I was definitely low energy some days, but I don't think I was a bitch. So,
well, this is
Not
not your
at all.
first rodeo either, right? You've done a couple of these already?
so I've done one full prep so far before this one. Last year was my first prep ever, and I ended up doing 2 shows within, I think it was 20 weeks total. So my first prep was like 16 weeks, had my first show, and then I had 4 weeks until my next. So this prep is my second one ever, which I do feel like, you know, I have more experience. So it's a little bit easier to know what to expect. But it's also a lot harder mentally to get through because that first prep, you have so much adrenaline and excitement, and you have no idea what your body's going to look like, and you see all these changes. And now I'm just waiting for that, like, that day to hit where I feel like, okay, now I'm ready. Versus last year was just each day I was like, holy crap, I have new veins. I look leaner. And now I'm just sitting here waiting, like, when am I going to look that lean again?
Yeah.
So it is definitely different this time around. I knew what to expect, but I feel like I've struggled more with this one than I did the first.
Do you think this one's just more regimented? A little bit more strict, or?
It is. I mean, I have the same coach as I did last year, so I kind of can look back at last prep and see my protocols versus this one. And I'm looking at him like, oh my God, he hates me. He hates me. My prep this year is a lot more extreme than it was last time around. More cardio, less food, really just trying to get me as lean as possible for the show. Whereas last year, I think because I was a new competitor, my coach maybe took it a little bit easier on me. My first show, I came in 3rd, and that was not the result I had wanted. I'm someone that I'm like, unless it's first place, then I'm losing. I have very high standards and expectations for myself. So after that first show, I told my coach, I was like, all right, like, we got to like pedal to the metal on this. So for 4 weeks, I kind of ended up really pushing, really dying. And then I got first place and an overall, which is what I was really hoping for. So I think this prep, he knows what I can take and how far I will push myself to get those results. So I think that's why it's a little bit more difficult this time around.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was starving, I wouldn't be too happy either. Like all the time. Do you feel like you're hungry all the time? Or have you gotten used to it? Has your body gotten used to?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird process to go through because in the beginning, I felt like I was a lot hungrier when my calories first started getting cut because I started my prep at about 2,400, and then within 4 weeks, it was already at 1,800. So that's a pretty big drop and a pretty big deficit. And mostly protein stays high, protein stays the same, and the carbs and fats are what drops. And now I've been at like under 100 grams of carbs a day for 5 weeks or so. And at first I was starving. I would sit there chewing gum, doing anything, like chugging water to just try and make myself feel full. But now I think my body's a little bit more adjusted to the low carbs, and I don't feel as hungry all of the time. So it's a little bit more manageable. But I also do realize when I have refeed days and I get those higher carbs, the next morning I'm waking up and I'm feeling ravenous. And my carbs are back down. So
Yeah, you talked about that yesterday. It's the first time I've ever heard about a refeed.
yes.
Can you explain that again?
Yes, refeed days are beautiful. I love them. So basically, after a long period of time in a carb deficit, your glycogen is just shot, you know. There's no glycogen in your muscles. You feel flat. You feel depleted, and oftentimes your weight kind of hits a plateau because your metabolism is just shot at that point. I mean, you drop as low as you can, and then your body kind of stops responding. So when you feel like you've hit a point of extreme fatigue, you can barely get through the days, your body is just, you're not getting good pumps in the gym, anything like that, that's when refeeds kind of come in. So the idea of a refeed is to just get your carbs up, drop fats a little, keep protein kind of the same, or you can drop them a little. But when you increase carbs, usually by anywhere from like 50 to 80%. So say I'm having 80 grams of carbs a day. On a refeed day, I'll usually have like 160 to 200, depending on how my body's looking. But when you do refeed, your muscle belly kind of fulls out again. Your weight drops because you've been in that period of starvation for so long, and your leptin levels increase, which reduces stress in your body and kind of allows your metabolism to get kicking again. So it is a fun day because you're like, oh, I can have like a bagel or a pancake or just something that you haven't had in a while. But because carbs kind of spike your blood sugar and everything, you get hungrier, and then you start to crash a little. And the next day, you look a lot better and you feel more energized, but that hunger is just kicking. So
It's too bad that wasn't yesterday because we had those voodoo donuts.
I know.
Bad timing.
Those were tough to look at, but
Fun to eat.
luckily, I don't know. I'm someone on prep. It's kind of weird. I love to watch like food videos, and I love just smelling the donuts and looking at them is enough for me to like fill that void. But I'm very disciplined where there's been so many times people would like try and get me to eat something just to see if I'll crack. Like, you do it. You
Yeah,
did it a few times with the
maybe.
cake, with the donuts, chips this morning.
Had to test you.
Just testing me. But I would say I'm really good with the discipline of just saying no, because food will always be there,
Yeah.
but the stage won't. So,
Ooh, yeah, you're right.
you know,
You put it that way.
I mean, I have 2 weeks till I step on stage. I can eat a donut after.
2 weeks from today?
From
Or tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So it's getting real close. I'm in that final period. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I remember when you were saying you had like 9-10 weeks to go. I'm like, that is so far away.
I know.
And that was the beginning of the term.
Felt
now
like
we're
forever.
down to 2.
I know. It's crazy. I remember walking in there and I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if anyone like knows what a prep is or a bodybuilding show. Because, I mean, all the classmates, I don't think they really knew much about it.
No.
So I was like, oh my God, they're going to see me all happy-go-lucky in the beginning. And then the end, they're going to watch me kind of fall off a little. But yeah, it felt like a long 9-10 weeks, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
It did not go by fast. The days at one point started to drag on. And I think it's just because I'll do everything that day. I'll do my like hour of cardio, do my workouts, have my meal, and then I'm sitting in bed and I'm just like, oh, thank God it's over. And then I just remember, oh shit, 4 a.m. tomorrow, it's just going to start again.
Mm-hmm.
So the days do drag on a bit until about right now, because I'm like, oh, like this is going to fly by. Looking back, I think it felt very slow, but it did in some ways go by fast. And the class helped a lot with that.
Take your mind off of it.
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
Last prep, I was just doing like full-time social media and online coaching. So I would be at home in my apartment all day on my computer, editing videos, checking in on clients. And then once I was done with that, I would kind of just sit there and my mind would just go to food. Like, I'm hungry, I want to eat. And like when you eat out of boredom, you're just like, what do I do with myself? I felt like that, but I couldn't have anything to eat. So the class helped me just take my mind off of it, and it gave me something else to focus on besides food and the gym and anything like that. So I would say it benefited my prep honestly.
Good. So if you come in first place, then you can credit us for that.
Yes, I'll have to shout you guys
On
out.
stage.
Yes, they'll ask me,
That works.
how'd you get here? NPTI.
That's right.
how they led me through.
They kept me awake during class.
Yes. No, there were days, Josh, where you're like, Gracie, are you awake?
Yeah.
So yeah, they kept me in check. I would say it was really good to have for my prep.
And you had some good students in there that were holding you accountable too, and
Oh yeah,
it was
I
good
love
energy
them.
this last
It
term.
was. I feel like there was such a everyone was so different.
Mhm.
There was not one person that was similar in any way, and it made the dynamic of the class so fun.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there wasn't really any similar personalities.
No, everyone had their own niche, their
Yeah.
own little thing. I mean, and I feel like we all just meshed very well. We all got along. There wasn't anyone that was not vibing with each other. We all just had such a great time. And I honestly learned a lot from a lot of my classmates. I mean, I feel like in a way, I don't want to say I have an ego. I feel like I might have a little bit of an ego. I'm like
Healthy ego.
yeah,
Yeah.
confident. So
Yeah.
I went into the class thinking I know my shit. I'm just going to get certified. I already know everything. And I honestly learned so much from other people and just their traits and, what they do outside of the gym, because I'm someone that always had kind of looked at fitness as a bodybuilding kind of aspect. But now I feel like my perspective has changed more, and realizing JJ with the massage therapy and Jerry, he's 60 years old coming in here
Yeah.
to get certified. And I mean, even just OPT going there, it just shows you all the different sides to what fitness truly is. And I think for a long time, I was so fixated on that external,
Right.
how you look, not always how you feel. So it was cool to kind of meet new people and change my perspective on that. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that's what happened when I went through the Portland school. I'd never heard. I've heard of Eastern medicine, didn't know what it was about. We had a guest speaker come in and talk about Eastern medicine. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying right now. But I became more of a believer afterwards. I would never have been exposed to it otherwise. We had other guest speakers that I normally wouldn't have sought out to talk to.
Definitely.
So it's what I wanted to bring to this program, and that's why when we went to OPT, that's as different as it gets.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, we should do this because I want people to see what's on the other end of the spectrum with health and wellness and fitness.
Definitely.
And that's where that lies is there. So,
Yeah, that was great.
if nobody's ever thought about the power of breathing, they know now.
Oh, yeah.
Especially there's a few that had no idea what hit them when they did that. So
Yes.
I just wanted people to get that experience because you never know if that's something you want to bring into your own practice and have for your own clients. So, there's a couple students or graduates now that do believe in breath work. At some point, they were exposed to it, but if they weren't, they wouldn't incorporate it into their own lives or their clients' lives. So it's powerful to open up your eyes and see what's out there. And ever since I went through this school, that's what I do. I don't poo-poo on anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? Cool. Show me.
Except for CrossFit.
I've tried that.
That's the one thing. It's the one
still
thing
like
you
it.
kind of nag on a little. But no, I think especially watching Janice have that breakthrough in OPT, I was like, holy shit, this is so much more than just moving your body or looking a certain way. It's really about those mental breakthroughs.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of how I got started in fitness, was just trauma in my life. I kind of gave up on myself. In high school, I was actually a dancer for 16, 17 years. And my senior year, for some reason, I was like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I started smoking a lot of weed, multiple times a day, gained 30, 40 pounds, kind of just sat in my room, gave up on myself. And I hit a point where I looked in the mirror, and I think Nellie was saying something about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
That first time you look in the mirror and you're like, what the fuck happened to me?
Yeah.
Who am I? What am I doing to myself? And that's when I began my fitness journey. I kind of changed my life around, just started moving my body, exercising. I started tracking food a bit, just trying to be more balanced. And then 4 or 5 years later, here I am now.
So what got you into this path, or what got you on this path?
Bodybuilding?
Yeah.
This is actually so funny. I, for years, like, I had so many people come up to me in the gym, like, you should do a show. You should do a show. You could so do it. And I had always doubted myself. And I was like, I just need to put more muscle on, or I don't think I'm going to be that disciplined. I don't think I can do it. And in the span of 1 week, there were a couple of girls that came into the gym I go to, and they were posing in their bikinis. And I remember sitting there like, I want to be that. I want to do that. But I was still so scared, and I kind of just shut it down. And I was like one day. And then a few days later, Janice, she came up to me in the gym, and she was like, I'm doing a show. And I showed a picture of you to my coach, and he really wants you to work with him. And he wants to guide you through a prep. I think you should do this show with me. And I was like, you really think I can? Still kind of in that self-doubt mindset. And she was like, Gracie, like, just do it. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? And that day I decided, all right, like, I'm going to do my first show. And from there, it just kind of all fell into place. I think the more I went through my prep and when I started to see the physical changes, I was like, damn, like, I can really do something with this. I mean, genetically, I haven't been in the gym as long as a lot bodybuilders have. I feel like I'm still on the beginner kind of side of that, being only like 4 to 5 years of lifting, which is a good amount of time, but mature muscle takes a while to put on, and especially being a natural athlete, it can be tough retaining that muscle during a prep. So I was still kind of apprehensive, but when I saw myself on stage and looked at it, I was like, holy shit, for a natural athlete at my age, like, I could honestly go places with this. And since then, it's kind of been my main focus and my main passion, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah, it takes over your whole life.
Yeah, I wish it would take over mine. Be a little bit more.
You could
more
do
regular.
it.
Oh, I'm not going on stage.
Why
I've already
not?
had this discussion. I'm too old. I'm over the hill.
That's never too old.
Yeah.
You got to take the risks sometimes.
I don't have time.
Yes,
I've
you
got
do.
2 dogs and a kid and a wife and school.
Excuses.
He just doesn't want to wear the banana sling.
I'm not. No.
You wouldn't have to. You could do the one with the boy shorts.
What's that called?
Men's physique.
Men's physique.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
I think you could do men's physique.
Now, if you look up at the gym, if you look at the posters or the athlete posters from their stage shots,
Yeah.
there's some that are wearing board shorts. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the one that I might do.
Yes,
That's the only
you
one I
should.
would do.
Right.
You
And
should
it would
do
more
it.
than likely be senior. Is there a senior?
There's a master's.
Master. That
So-
sounds way
That's
better.
what it's called.
Yeah, senior. No, I actually saw a video on Instagram the other day of this man. He was 80 years old, and he did a show. And I almost brought tears to my eyes. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like,
80.
80
Wow.
years old, and he's getting up there and doing the damn thing.
He's probably retired and doesn't have anything else to do.
Travis, it's excuses. I think
Yeah.
you could do it.
No. I don't think I can.
I'll prep you.
Oh, no.
I'll be your coach.
Okay.
Drop
If
the
I
carbs.
no.
No more apple fritters.
That fritter was so good yesterday.
It looked
That thing was huge.
Yeah, I ate it all.
That's it
Yeah.
looks so good. Some vanilla ice cream though.
Yeah, you're right. It would have been better with ice cream, but
Mhm.
I haven't been back to Portland in 4.5 years, and that's the last time I had a apple fritter from Voodoo Donuts
I know.
until yesterday. And oh my,
It's good that they're bringing it back over here.
I didn't even know they were here.
I
I
guess
guess
they
that-
just opened.
Okay, that's why.
That's what Jasper said.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Kelly knew about him. I'd never heard of him. And Kelly knew about him. So
If you go to the Northwest, if you go to Portland, that's a stop like Multnomah Falls It's Multnomah Falls. It's the coast. It's maybe Mount Hood and
Right.
Voodoo Donuts.
Yeah.
That's what they're known for.
And then you stand in that line for 2 hours to get
Yeah, that seems ridiculous. I don't think I could do that.
a donut with Fruity Pebbles on it or
Yeah.
Captain
yeah.
Crunch.
I don't think I could wait
Yeah.
that long.
And then you've got people out there around the line doing their thing.
Just waiting.
Not just the homeless, but the people that are doing tricks and stuff like that. The
Oh,
Unipiper
yeah.
sometimes is out there.
Oh.
It's a guy that's on a unicycle
For
dresses up
tips or
like
something?
That makes sense.
So
Yeah,
it's a whole scene.
That's
Right.
kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
Brings a different little ambiance
It does.
to waiting for donuts,
Yeah.
I would say.
People-
I actually have a question for you.
Okay.
So you said that you had your own studio in Portland, correct?
Not my own. No,
Okay, not
I
your
was
own.
going to,
You were going to.
and then the
Okay.
opportunity to come down here and put the school in happened around the same time that I was thinking about
okay.
doing my own thing. But I was just using the National Personal Training Institute of Portland's studio
To train people.
to train. Yeah.
Because I really want to open up a place of my own, but I feel like there's so much risk involved, and I feel like it's such a big step to do at. Well, I'll be 22 next week. At my age, I feel like that's a big thing. So I had some questions about.
Well, there's
Your
risk.
thoughts on
There's
that?
risks in everything.
I know.
And your business presentation yesterday, if it's in line with what you're thinking about doing, that would work.
That's exactly what I want to do.
Then do it.
You think so?
Yeah,
Did
I do think so. I don't think
Okay.
there's a time I don't think you, when there's something you want to do, I don't think waiting is the appropriate action.
Okay.
I think you're ready.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like in the aspect of clientele and the fitness, nutrition, and all that, and the vision,
Mhm.
I'm ready. But the business part, I'm like, that scares me because I know so many businesses that fail. And not that I'm afraid of failure, I can take failure. It's just the money. that
Well, you
I'm
said your parents own their own business, right? So they'd
Yes.
help out a lot.
So they know a lot about business, and I think that they could honestly make it so it wouldn't fail. I mean, regardless, but I don't know. Sometimes I sit there, I'm like, I'm a big dreamer, but I get apprehensive before I make the leap.
Mm-hmm.
I go through every possible thing that could go wrong, weigh out all the
You'll
good.
never be able to do that because things will go wrong that you don't expect.
I know, and that's another thing I'm so scared of.
Yeah.
Like a random thing breaks or something happens or legal scares the shit out of me.
And just have somebody else take care of that.
Yeah, because honestly, another thing I heard about owning a gym is that you're not really doing the training as much anymore, and that you become kind of the business owner
Right.
of it.
Yeah.
There'll be less because you're going to be, focusing on, I don't know, is this just going to be, I don't remember in your presentation you were talking about, it's a membership based, right? Is that your plan? Or is it going to be like trainers and their clients only?
So my original plan was to just open a bigger gym because I'm from Massachusetts. That's where I will be looking at opening, and there's really not the gym scene over there isn't like it is out here. I feel like around here there's a lot of bodybuilding style gyms, more private owned and just bigger gyms with a lot of space. But back in Massachusetts, it's a lot of commercial gyms. So like Planet Fitnesses, know how you feel about those. And then just like chain gyms, basically. There are one or two that I personally go to there, but it's a 30 or 40-minute drive because there's not really any in the area that I'm in.
So the scene's not as big up there, huh?
No.
Yeah.
And I think this might be weird, but I think it might be because of the weather.
Could be.
Like people in the West Coast, you're always outside. You're not covered up in sweatshirts and sweatpants every day, so you're prioritizing how your body looks a little bit more. And in the East Coast, like once winter hits, everyone's all covered. No one cares about looking as good as they do over here. But I don't know if that's why.
I think there's something to that.
I think
I definitely do now that you mention it.
that's
Yeah.
my suspicion because, oh my God, once
Well,
Christmas hits.
Well, if you do it here, we'll support you. If you do it in Massachusetts, you're dead to us.
Hey, no.
I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
The only reason I really want to do it there is because there's not a lot of competition.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not gyms like that. I mean, even over here, the gym that I was kind of talking about, like I really want to have like LED lights, like high vibrational music, cool machines, cool equipment, just a place where you feel like you can have fun. Like you would want to dance around in there a little, you know. I want everyone to have a smile on their face. I walk into so many gyms that are just so blah.
Yeah.
Just white or gray and
Kind
boring.
of a carbon copy of another carbon copy. And
yeah. So I really want to create a place that's just vibrant and different and all neon and cool. So that's kind of my vision for it. And I think it would be a standout, especially to what's in my area. And I do know that there's a big demographic of younger people in Massachusetts that do work out a lot. And I see them at the gyms that I go to. And as bad as it sounds, a lot of times nowadays, people are looking for that gym that you can go get content in. Or
Yes. Yep.
go get the good social media pictures. And you want to look cool and post a cool gym. So I think I would do private training in there, but open it up to members as well, because I think I will get those people who do want that scenery.
Yeah. Well, one of the ways you could do it is you don't have to open it up to everybody
Yeah.
for membership based. You can just have a certain amount of slots available, and that would create well, if you say like you've only got 20 or 30 available, people are going to want to be a part of that. So
That's true.
If you keep it small and see where it starts, say
Yeah.
maybe you've only got 20 spots open for anytime members and want to use it like they would any other gym, then it creates demand. It's like, I want to be a part of that number. If it's only 20.
Agree.
So I think it's a great idea. That would help you with some revenue.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't overwhelm the
definitely.
gym either for the coaches that are training their clients.
That's what I would worry about, because I am looking at like 1,500 to 2,000 square foot, which is a decent space. It's not super small, but at the same time, I want to load that place up with good equipment.
Yep.
And I know that's going to take up space. But I do want the people coming in who are going to be training with a coach to feel confident and welcome. And I think gyms nowadays can be a really scary place for people to walk into. You see all these bodybuilders or all these power lifters lifting like 4 plates on a deadlift or whatever crazy shit they're doing. And it makes people want to just turn around and leave, especially like the grunting and
Yes.
the meatheads. Like
Yeah.
it just scares people away. And I really want people to come in and train at my gym and just feel at home and safe there. I want it to be a place where they don't feel judged. So that's the only thing I would worry about with like opening it up to more members, is just, I think for training, I do want to have it a little bit more private for them, depending on the client and the person. But I would probably be a little particular about the members I do let in and just make sure that they're good people,
Right.
welcoming people, you know, non-judgmental. I think that's a big thing out there nowadays. Like I was saying, the ego thing earlier. I think people tend to walk around with this ego, like they're better than everyone else or they know more. And I, at a time, feel like I was that person. Like my last prep, that's when I kind of blew up on social media. I got all the followers. I cared way too much about what other people thought of me. And having people perceive me in a certain way on social media made me feel like in the gym I was like God complex. Like, oh, I'm shredded. I have these abs. I'm on prep. I look so good. Like people would try and come up to talk to me and just ask me questions or anything, and I would just be like, oh, like I'm trying to work out.
Right.
Like, can't you just back off? And now I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I wasn't like that.
Well, you're not now.
No, I'm not.
But I mean, I think a lot of people that happen. I think a lot of people that happens to that get a little bit of notoriety. I think it's just natural. But
yeah,
what's not natural for a lot of people is to be introspective and know that you are being that way.
yes.
You know?
I learned a lot about myself after my last prep. I kind of had like a breakthrough. I ended up in a really bad spot for a little because you're in this prep for so long. You're working towards this extreme goal. And then the day after the show's over, you're like, what do I do with myself? Like, I don't have to do hours of cardio. I don't need a diet. I'm now going to gain 20 pounds and I'm not going to look like this anymore. And I just realized I pushed so many people away during my prep. I kind of had the mindset like, this is so extreme. I can't be bothered. I don't have the time for other people right now. And it is a selfish sport, but it does not have to go to that extent.
Right.
And I have realized that what's on the outside it doesn't mean shit. It really doesn't. Like, to me, last year I'd look at my body and I'd be like, oh my God, like I am all that. This year I do love my prep body, but I'm not as like tied to it. It's not who I am. It doesn't define me. And I think I learned that through this past off season that, you know, I am not Gracie the bodybuilder. I'm just Gracie.
Yeah.
And there's so much more to me than fitness and everything else. Like, I love to help people. I deeply care about my family, those around me. There's so much more in this world than the gym. And there's so much more to health than the gym. So I think that's what really kind of brought me back to myself and humbled me in ways.
Well, it happens sooner than later for you. Some people, they never realize that that's who they are.
Oh, yeah.
So kudos for that.
Thank you.
I remember when I met you, and I think we were talking about Instagram in the class or something, and I looked at yours and I was like, 100 and that's a lot of followers.
Yeah.
But typically with somebody that has that many followers, they have a kind of a usual personality, which is I think what you're talking about that you used to have. And I'm like,
the ego.
She's pretty humble for having that kind of following. And immediately I was like, wow, that's kind of unusual. You know, and inside I was doing a little clap in my brain. I'm like, good for you for not having that ego or being, you know, like I'm all that and I've got all these followers. Because a lot of people, that's their currency. You know, they're like, I've got this many followers, so
I agree.
I'm awesome.
I think that now I look at social media as like a business tool. I use it more for like getting clients, sharing my prep journey with the world, but I've really had to put into perspective, like social media is not reality and it never will be.
Yeah.
I have 110,000 followers or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just people.
Yeah.
All over the world supporting me. I love them. I'm grateful for them. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make me any better than anyone else.
Right.
Like, I posted a couple TikTok and Instagram videos of me working out and somehow it blew up.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's amazing. But it doesn't make me higher on any level than, you know, someone sitting next to me who has 100 followers.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you see somebody who tries to contact you on social media and you look at him, you're like, you only have 200 followers.
Yeah.
How legit can you be?
Oh my God.
Like, get out of here.
Well, even sometimes the worst is when I'll meet new people and they'll be like, oh, what's your Instagram? Like, so we can connect. And then they see it and they're like, oh my God, like, you have all these followers. And I'm like, honestly, like, it's not that special.
Yeah.
Like, it's great for business. It is great for making money. I will say that. I'm very grateful for the opportunity and I am blessed for that it happened to me. But I tell people, I'm like, there's nothing that exciting about it. Like, first, you have the assholes on social media who, yes, a lot of people support me, but I have people commenting that I look like a man or just anything they want to pick apart. And if you're not, you know, strong-willed and if you can't take that, then you're going down real quick.
Yeah, you got to have thick skin for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because people are just mean.
Yeah. And then it's just also, I feel like there's a lot of people that I've come across along my journey with social media that want to be my friend for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, for me to post
Oh,
them
yeah, for sure.
or just to get on the Instagram or because, I know Gracie and look at her Instagram. So I do think that some people don't realize the bad parts that come with it. And it really is not all glitz and glam.
Yeah. It's the negative feedback I think a lot of people have a issue with. And every term, it's the same thing when we talk about online training, because it is so viable. If you've got this kind of education that you have in the trainers that come out of our program, you are ready to help.
Oh, yeah. Now,
one of the greatest ways we can reach the most amount of people is online training.
Yes.
The pandemic made sure that people knew that was a legitimate way to help people.
Yes.
And help people in other countries.
Yeah.
So one of the barriers for a lot of people is that negativity that comes along with social media. And it's like anything else, it's reps. The more reps you get in anything, the better you become at dealing with it. And dealing with negativity isn't any different.
I agree.
You just have to know that if you put yourself out there, there's going to be people that are going to say the things they said to you.
Yeah.
And over time, it doesn't even matter anymore. You're like, oh, another miserable person trying to make me feel miserable.
That's what I realized. I just honestly laugh at it. I'm like, you took the time out of your day to come with this because you are sad and you just aren't confident within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, I'm someone that can take the heat. I really do not care anymore what people think of me.
Did you in the beginning?
I think it was hard because my whole life I kind of was a people pleaser type of person. In high school, I always cared so much what other people thought. And then when I got the whole Instagram thing, I was still so fixated on that. Like, oh my God, like people are looking at me differently now. I would get affected by some of the rude comments. I would be like, why do they think that about me? Like,
or what kind of person would even say that?
I know, yeah.
That's what I think when I see
exactly.
negative
I'm
comments.
like, what the hell? And then it came to a point where I was just like, why do I care?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so confident in myself now and who I am as a person that people can say whatever they want. But at the end of the day, I know who I truly am. So I'm not going to let a miserable person bring me down with them.
Yeah.
It just fuels me, honestly.
Good.
I'm like,
how many people can deal with it the way that you do? But then again, it's just putting yourself out there. And, a lot of people will throw out a post and they're like, now what? What's going to happen? What are they going to say? And then sometimes no negativity.
Yeah.
Like, cool, let's do that again. There was some positive responses. One of the things that I recommend all the students do, and it's things that a lot of people don't do that is really important. We don't want to come off. Obviously we're a product, right? We're fitness coaches.
Yeah,
we've got the information and the knowledge and the mental capacity to help somebody get to their goals. We know how to get them there. There's no guesswork with us. We know how to do that. But getting yourself out there to make sure that people know what you're doing is really important. So on social media, if you don't say, look, I'm a coach,
no one's ever going to know.
Nobody's going to know. So if you're just putting workout photos on there or videos, they're like, oh, just another person with workout videos.
Yeah.
So when it comes to social media, it's really important to educate.
I agree.
Education is the biggest thing. Otherwise, if you're just doing random videos, you're like everybody else. So you have to educate. And it has to be free education. Because if you want respect and if you want trust, you have to do those sort of things.
Definitely.
And with that comes negative reactions from people who may have read something or heard something from her car mechanic about deadlifts.
It's so annoying.
In previous podcasts.
Yeah, right.
You got to put yourself out there.
Yeah,
you just have to.
100%.
Take one step, that's a rep. That one post is a rep.
Yeah, and you
do
just
another
keep
one.
going.
If you get that negative comment, oh, well, guess what? You can delete it. Just don't let it eat you up inside.
So many people, I mean, everyone thinks they know the best method or the best way or how to do something. But honestly, fitness is not linear. There are so many different approaches to anything, honestly, to weight loss, to muscle building, to even how people do a certain movement. There are so many modifications in different ways. So I hate when people jump to comments and say, like, your form sucks or that's not going to get someone to lose weight.
Yeah.
Like, it's just because they don't have that optimistic mindset that there is other ways than their own. I think that's something that I learned through working with like a lot of trainers and coaches. I mean, my bodybuilding coach, I had a lifestyle coach. I've worked out with probably 25, 30 different people by this point, and I've just learned so much from all of them. And I think that's what kind of makes a good coach, is one that is open to new things, new information, and who continues to expand their knowledge through other people. I mean, a NASM book or whatever book is only going to teach you so much.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get that experience, like learning through others, you have so much knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. Like even NPTI, going out there, like actually training in the gym is so much different than just reading a book.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
One you read about it, one you did it.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to like the social media part,
Yeah.
before I forget, one of the things that a lot of people don't do, and we're talking about negative comments, right?
Yeah.
What about the positive ones? We can do that as well.
Yes.
Why don't we as
yeah.
coaches, like we've got
Yes.
people on our social media that we see their struggles, we see their
Yes.
journeys. How hard is it for you to get on there and just say something nice, like keep it up the good work?
Yeah.
You're doing great.
100%. This
And
is huge.
This is one of the things that I was like, for like a blueprint to get going on online training.
Yeah.
Educate, first of all, but get out there and be supportive for people. Just be
Yes.
supportive. Just put out those good vibes, because how often do we get great comments on some of our
Yeah.
threads? It's usually a lot of negativity, or DM us for whatever solicitation. Those are so dumb.
Oh, I can't do that.
Ugh.
The good comments, though, like that changes a lot. And especially sometimes who you're receiving them from.
Yeah.
I have had a few IFBB Pro Bikini girls comment on my post. And I remember sitting there like, they think I look
Yeah.
like good. Like they think I can do this. And it's inspired me to keep
Yeah.
going.
Made your day, right?
Yeah. And I mean, what I like to do, I have like something set up on my Instagram where if someone wants to potentially do coaching with me, they kind of fill out this whole form, and part of it is their Instagram. So I'll always make sure to go on, look at their page, follow them, and kind of reach out and just give them positive words. I mean, that's the best thing you can do, regardless of whether or not they want to end up training with me.
Yeah.
Just knowing like they're supported and there's someone who has their back, because I think a lot of people who do want to start their fitness journey are held back by lack of social support and
Sure.
lack of someone who's there to give you that push and tell you that you can do it. So if you're a coach, it's really, really important to not only teach people, but to motivate and inspire them, because some days you just don't have that motivation on your own.
Yeah. I mean, there's people out there that just one comment can make their week or keep them going.
100%.
And not let them fall into that rut because, there wasn't enough support. So
Yeah.
that's what we do as coaches, is we support. Whether you work with us or
Yes.
not, my information's always been mostly free.
Yeah.
I can't give you everything. I can't give you an hour of my day with all that I have and not be, there's a price
Limit.
tag to
Yeah.
this knowledge. That's why I have the knowledge that I have. It's to help others and obviously to also make a living with.
Absolutely.
But there's, like, when I worked at 24 Hour Fitness, that was my first job when I graduated, the Portland NPTI. They wanted me to walk up to everybody and try to do the sales tactics.
Mhm.
That's not my personality,
No.
so I didn't do that. I tried to get one person to take their headphones off so I could say, hey,
Pitch to them.
I've got an hour. You want to work out with me?
Yeah.
That person did
Could
this, heard what I said, and put it back on, and then looked back at the TV. I'm like, okay, that doesn't work.
No.
I don't like that. So it came down to just getting to know everybody's names that were walking in,
Yep.
and being that person that they didn't feel was going to try to push sales on them or push training on them.
That's huge too.
I was just more like, hey, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be
Yeah.
more than happy to help you. But it was never a sales approach. And I know
Yeah.
there's some people out there, some fitness managers that are cringing right
Pushy,
now
yeah.
because they're like, no, there's a tactic to do that. For me, it didn't work. For me, it was just getting to know people and
Yes.
being available when I wasn't with the client. And that's
Yeah.
what happened. I had people come up and say, hey, what about, this movement? What about doing this diet, or is this good for you, or what, all the
Just
questions that come
anything.
along with being in a gym atmosphere. And anytime I could help, I did. And what happened is a lot of those people would
Would come
approach
to
me
you.
and go,
Yeah.
hey, I want to work with you. Cool, let's go.
Exactly.
And they weren't afraid to approach me. It's like we've all done this before. We've been to a car lot.
Oh, uh-huh.
And
I'm rushing out for you.
If you're like me, I've learned to not park in the front.
Oh, yeah.
I'll drive through if I
Smart.
can.
That's
Sometimes they
smart.
have gates and you can't do this, but I'll drive through. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to look at that car. I'll jump out real quick and look at the price tag and jump back in. Keep going.
Yep.
But other times it's kind of fun. I'll walk and, dip in between trucks or
Yeah.
cars, and I see a salesman that's
There comes
doing
the
this.
sharks.
I'm like, oh, there he is. I'm going to hide and see how long it takes him. We're going to play a game of hide and seek. He doesn't know it yet.
No, that's funny.
But you want to be trusted and you want to be respected, and that's the best way to do it. I don't think it's the approach that didn't work for me, even though it works for some people. And that's what we try to make sure that everybody knows
Yeah.
that's going through the program is you don't have to. It's not rigid.
No.
Be yourself. Whatever makes you comfortable in how you sell, or
Yeah. I agree.
which is what it is ultimately. But be yourself doing it. Don't try to force a sale. You're going to look
Yeah.
nervous and
It's never
desperate.
good.
but just being available, I think that's the best way.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, coaching is about making money, it's our careers, livelihoods, but it's honestly, to me, like, I just want to help people. And whether or not they're going to pay me, I'm going to try and help as many people as I can. You never know what someone's going through. You never know if they even have the funds, but like giving them a little tip here and there, it's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
And eventually a lot of them do become your clients. So I really think it's just important to be yourself. Go in with the mindset, not, oh, I want to get the most clients or make the most money or be a top coach, and just go in with that mindset. No, I want to change people's lives. I want to help them become a better version of themselves and uplift them. I think that's how you end up making the most money too, is when you're just authentically you.
Yeah, if you're thinking about getting in this industry for number one to make money, then you're in it for the wrong reason.
I agree.
Helping people, money
Yeah.
follows. Like any entrepreneurial adventure, it should lead with passion and then the rest follows, right?
I agree.
So,
It's the recipe.
yeah,
Passion, authenticity,
and education.
and education.
Kind of need that.
Go NPTI. Woo!
So, what show is coming up?
I am doing Rising Phoenix on September 30th.
September 30th. Where's that at?
It's in Phoenix. I forget the exact place that it is, but it's like, I think 30 or 40 minutes from where I am, and I'm in Gilbert, so
Did I hear it's over by Arizona Mill Mall? Is that what I heard?
it might be. I'm so bad with the times and
You just have an address.
the location and all of that.
Yeah.
They honestly, they don't post anything until the week of your show. So I have no idea what time I'll be going on stage yet. I don't even know when my athlete check-in is the night before, but I'll find out pretty soon. But yeah, they don't give a lot until the day of. So
Yeah,
that's okay though.
Nerve-wracking, I would
Nerve-wracking,
say.
but
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to it'll all fall into place. It always does.
Yep.
No, let
You
the
can't
universe.
force it.
Yeah.
So what's it look like from here to the show?
Ooh.
What is on the agenda from now until the show, and what happens after the show?
Okay, so from now until this show, so since I am 15 days out, the next 8 days are going to probably be pretty similar to what I've already been doing. 80 minutes of cardio a day, a workout, and I'm eating 1,100 calories. So that kind of sucks. But once I hit next Saturday, the 23rd, my birthday, what an exciting day. That's when peak week begins. So basically peak week is when you start tapering certain elements of your protocol and switching things up. So typically I like to backload for my show, which means I'll be carbing up at the end of the week. Some people do it at the beginning in case they spill over or have too much carbs. But basically, I'll deplete in the beginning of the week. So my carbs are going to drop really low again. And then 3 or 4 days out, my cardio is going to start getting pulled back because cardio raises your cortisol, makes you more inflamed. So cardio starts getting cut. Sodium starts getting cut. Water, if you have a good coach, they will not cut out your water. They will just reduce the intake of it. So my water will get reduced a bit, and then my carbs will go up. The night before my show, I'll get to have a nice high carb meal.
What's it going to be?
I don't know. I like to play it safe. I like to stay in the realm of everything that I've been eating, like oats or potatoes, just because bloating. You don't want to step on stage looking bloated and watery. And some people have like these fatty or sugary meals, and it can really mess up how you look on stage the next day. So I'll probably play it safe, get on stage, and then the next day I'm going hard. I am refeeding the living shit out of myself.
Where are you going?
Maple and Ash in Scottsdale. If you guys don't know what that is, you need to go there.
Buffet, right? You doing the buffet?
No. So, well, I guess it's kind of like a buffet. It's more like bottomless brunch.
Yeah.
They just keep bringing you more
not a
and more
buffet, but
food.
as much as you can eat.
Yeah. So I'll be doing that. And then the next day, it's back into prep.
So if you win this one,
Yeah.
then what happens?
So if
Wait, hold on. When you win this one, what
when,
happens?
Yes. When I win this first show, that'll qualify me for a national level, which is what I'm shooting for. So I will probably be going to the Amateur Olympia at the end of October, see how I place there. And then in December, I'll go to a national show in Texas where I'm going to shoot for my pro card. We'll see. I really, really hope I can do it. I believe in myself, but the bodybuilding world has changed a lot. The competition is getting, better and better. And I hate to say it, but I'll probably be one of the only females on that stage who is not taking steroids, which makes it a lot more difficult. But
Disadvantage.
yeah,
Yep.
I would say so. But luckily, I'm a hard worker, and I think confidence is a big part of it. Going on there, feeling like you got it in the bag, it helps. So that's kind of going to be my mindset throughout, is just I can do this, and I deserve to be up there, and hopefully it shows, and hopefully I get that pro card. If not this year, we'll keep going.
Yeah. The website says it's at the Arizona Grand Resort and Spa.
There it is.
Now you know.
Now I know. Now I'll be a little bit more prepared. So, yeah, that's coming up. And then 4 weeks out from my next, and another 4 weeks to the last one. So, still got a long road ahead, but
You're still young. A lot of time.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
so much time.
You got a great attitude, great drive, hustling. I love
Thank
it.
you.
It's not everybody your age can say that they have what you have. So
I
it's
try.
been really fun the last 11 weeks watching you go through this. Again, I walk in, I'm like, why can't I be that regimented?
Oh, you
Like
can.
if you were to put a
Sure.
donut in front of my mouth at any time,
You can.
I'm saying yes. And I did that to you yesterday, and you're like, no, I'm not going to have it.
If you had a show in mind or something
Yeah.
that was there, you would say no to the donut.
No, I wouldn't. I'd say
That's
yeah.
why. No, I really think that's
If it's a Boston cream or a apple fritter, I'm having some of it.
because if I was in off season and I was still like trying to eat healthy, if someone put a donut in my face, I'm gonna eat it because I'm like, I
Not
don't
on
have
the
a show.
calendar.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But now I'm like, get that thing away.
Maybe
from
that's
me.
what I have to do.
Yes, you got to join a prep. You should do a
There
30-day
you go.
challenge. You and Josh.
That's too long.
Josh would probably win.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would. He
I
cut
have
out
I
like
have a very
soda
strong willpower
and
when it comes
juice.
to not eating.
Yeah, he cut out so much stuff a while ago. He's telling me about it. So
13 years, no soda.
yeah.
Oh, I've done that. Almost.
No, I think Josh might win.
Thanks, Gracie.
I got you. We still love you, Travis. But
Okay. You just don't think I have any self-control?
well, he
I
was
had a donut yesterday.
Oh, you did?
he was telling me about when he would train for was it marathons or just running?
Yeah.
He would do the carb cuts
Oh yeah.
and go super low, and then he would carb load again. So he knows what it's like to be in that.
Well, and I'm also diabetic, so
Yeah.
cutting the carbs is a very, very good thing.
Yeah, but he knows what it's like to be in that nitty gritty where you're like, give me a freaking piece of rice or a donut.
I've been there too when I was in the
bagel.
Army.
Yep.
Okay, it's credible. I'll
That
give
was
you that.
30 years ago.
I'll give you that. They probably don't give you good food
That
there.
was almost
so.
30 years ago, yeah. So I know what it's like. I remember.
Okay, I'll give you that, Travis. You've been through it too.
Yeah.
One day you'll get on stage.
Maybe board shorts next year. I don't know. It'd be something to. It's intriguing to me. I mean, I've
Oh.
got
I'm excited.
the knowledge to do it.
Yeah, of course you do.
I don't know if I'd want to apply that. I'd probably hire somebody to do it because I don't really want to think about it.
Yeah.
It's like for me, I know the information. I've been in the industry 14, going on 15 years now. I don't really want a program for me. I'd rather just
Have
put that
someone
off,
do it for
off the
you.
table and hire somebody, another coach
That's
to
what I
tell me
recommend.
what to do.
And bodybuilding is a whole other beast. Like, you're going to want a coach to hold you accountable. Because if you're doing your own programming, you're like, oh, well, I could up my carbs a little today.
100%.
You know?
And that's what I would do.
Exactly.
I'm going to get myself
Yep.
an In-N-Out burger.
Your daughter would
Exactly.
talk you into going through McDonald's.
Probably.
Oh, yes. Like
Some French fries.
too often. It's like once every 2 to 3 weeks now, which is way
Oh, that's
it was
not-
going to be never, when we had her, like she's never going to have junk food. Well,
Right.
that didn't happen. She has it.
Everything in moderation.
I was just going to say that. You beat me. Yeah. Moderation.
That's all that
key.
matters.
Yeah,
Still
except for
gotta
ice
enjoy
cream.
it.
Ice cream. A pint is not 4 servings, by the way.
That's okay. I think everyone can say we've sat here and ate a pint of ice cream to ourselves.
That's one
I
serving.
have.
You know how small
Yeah,
that
that's
is?
one
It's like,
serving.
it's almost, it's smaller than this.
I agree.
That is a serving.
I could probably eat 4.
Right now you could.
Honestly, put a pie in front of me and I'm going to ask for
Yep.
another.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, congratulations on passing.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for passing me.
Congratulations.
Thank you for both teaching me. I learned a lot and I'm really excited to share all that knowledge with the world. And
Good.
Nice.
I'm
Help
excited for
people.
you. We're all excited for you. It's one of the best industries you could possibly be in.
Absolutely.
It's incredibly rewarding to help people and to pass this knowledge down, because what we're supposed to do is educate as well. So we educate our clients so that they can
Yeah.
do it on their own at some point. It's never about them staying with you forever.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
them the tools. Not a lot of trainers are confident enough to do that,
Yeah.
because maybe they don't know how to do what they're doing, which is pretty typical.
Well, I feel confident.
Unfortunately.
So,
But also, if you do know what you're talking about, you should educate those so that
Yeah.
they can educate their families and friends, and it just spreads. And now
Definitely.
more people are healthy because of you.
fitness needs to take over the world because there's a lot of people out there that need it. So,
More and
I
more
will-
every day.
I will do my due diligence to help as many people as I can and share what I've learned. So,
Awesome.
I'm
Where
excited.
can people find you, Gracie?
if you go on my Instagram, it is Gracie H. Reed. And if you are interested in working with me and doing some online coaching, I do have a link in my bio. If you fill that out, then I can contact you from there.
That it?
Yeah.
Sweet. It's been fun. We'll miss having you in class
I'll miss it.
and kick ass in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I might
for sure.
show up to that.
Maybe
the whole class. We'll get the whole class
I
to
know.
come.
Everyone was saying they
Well, I
They
got
might
the
have to
website so
come,
we can get
so.
tickets.
they're expensive.
Are they?
Yeah.
As a spectator?
My parents just bought them this morning. They were like
Wow.
$200. That's a pricey support.
Maybe I'll be
We'll see
outside with a
what-
banner saying, Go
We'll see-
Gracie.
There you go. We'll see.
I'll
photos.
send you guys pictures.
There
Don't
we go.
worry.
Well, awesome. It's been fun. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And see you again sometime.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
Thanks.
being here. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Boom.
Yay!
Hit it.
That was cool.